Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you how to make Jacqueline's hopscotch scarf. Now this scarf I've designed purposefully to use 2 skeins of sock yarn. We'll get to the colors in a moment. But the idea is that it's a scarf that starts with a point that grows until it's a certain width and then this stays very constant for a very long time. So I've got here about 180 centimeters worth of scarf, and then at a certain point you start decreasing again to a point. So, and it's a really nice and comfortable warm scarf because it's made from wool, and it's just a lovely scarf, lovely yarn as well. So in this video I'd like to show you how to make this scarf, and the magic of the pattern is particularly just this zigzag pattern that's really very easy and rhythmic to do. So I'll show you what materials you need, and I'll show you how to work the pattern, but I'll just use it as a bit of scrap yarn to show you how to work the pattern because it's a very rhythmic pattern. But first let's look at the materials we need. Now, the materials you'll need to make the hopscotch scarf are 2 skeins of sock yarn. For example, these 2 skeins here you could use, or you could use these 2. Doesn't matter which colors you use. What is important, however, is that there are 2 different colors. So a variegated color and a solid color, and 2 colors that kind of work nicely together. So for example, these 2 here. The yarn that I'm using is a Symphony Terra, which is a sock yarn that contains 100 grams, 400 meters on a skein. So these 2, for example, work really nice together. Or you could indeed use more earthy colors. You can also use 2 solid colors, that's no problem at all. So you could also, for example, use these 2 colors on the scarf. What I would not recommend that you do is that you use 2 variegated colors. Then the zigzag pattern is just not going to come out very well. So use a solid color and a variegated color. That's really the base of the scarf, that you use 2 colors that just work nicely together, and that'll bring the zigzag out nicely. So long story short, 2 skeins of sock yarn, dive into your stash and see what you've got, and along with that you need a 3.5mm crochet hook. Let's get started. Row 1, just quickly going to make a slip knot for on my hook. Then with the first color, going to make a chain 2, so this is color A in this case. Now come to the second chain from the hook, and in this stitch here make 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to turn for row 2. For row 2, I'm going to start with a chain 1. And this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, it never does in this pattern. Then in the first stitch, so that's that stitch there, work 2 single crochets. In the first stitch, so 1, 2, then a chain 1. I'm going to skip the next stitch, it's this stitch here, and then come to the last stitch and work a single crochet in there. And just make sure to get both loops from that stitch. There you go. And then the chain 1 here, of course, doesn't count as a stitch. That was row 2, turn for row 3. For row 3, again a chain 1. In the first stitch, this first stitch here, work a single crochet. In the chain space, I'm just going to pull my work open so you can see where that chain space is, work a single crochet. Then a chain 1. Now we have 2 stitches left here. We're going to skip that stitch, and then here in the last stitch we work 2 single crochets, and we're going to change the color B. Just going to, there we go, in that last stitch work 1 single crochet, and now work the second. Start with the single, but now I'm going to do the last yarn over with a new color. For that I'm just going to use a white yarn. I'm going to yarn over with the white and pull through. So now I've changed to color B for the next round. And now again, turn your work. Row 4, again a chain 1. So now we're working with the new color. And in the first stitch, in that first stitch, 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Then chain 1, skipping this single crochet, come to the space. Here, there's a space here, and work a single in there. Chain 1, skipping the next stitch, come to the last stitch and work a single crochet. And you'll notice I did not cut any yarn at this point, and that's correct. You're going to keep carrying your yarn up. So this was row 4, turn for row 5. Row 5, chain 1, and again in the first stitch here a single crochet, in the chain space a single, then a chain 1, and come to the next chain space and work a single crochet in there, then chain 1, 2 stitches left here. Going to skip that second, the first stitch, and then come to the second stitch and work 2 singles and change color. It's going to be 1 single crochet, and then the second in the same stitch. And now we're going to change colors. Now just be sure to take the long end and not accidentally here use the short end of the yarn. So for me it's going to be the pink yarn. And you're literally going to bring that up. So give it, so don't pull this tight, because you are going to have to bridge a certain distance. You see that stripe of yarn there, and it looks really big right now, but when you have the whole scarf you're going to have a lot of these little dashes, and you're not going to notice that at all. So it looks more than it is actually in practice. So like I say, then if you just leave this yarn here, don't pull this yarn tight, because that's going to cause this shawl to like scrunch up. So really give that enough room there. So it's the length of 2 rows. That's what you need to cross there. And now we're finished. We can turn for the next row. Row 6, I believe. Chain 1. Here in the first stitch, work 2 singles. 1 and 2. Chain 1 is the gap here, the chain 1 space in there, work the single. Chain 1, skip the single crochet and come to the space and work a single. Chain 1, almost to the end here, 2 stitches, skip the 6th stitch and come to the last stitch and work 1 single crochet. There you go. And now turn for the next row. Row 7, so chain 1, and as always in the first stitch here a single crochet, the chain space gets a single, then chain 1, that's again to skip the single crochet and come to the next space and work a single, and then chain 1 and a single crochet in the next space, and then chain 1, got 2 stitches left, come to this last stitch and work 2 singles in there. That's 1 and 2, and that second one we're going to use to change colors. I've got the first half of the stitch made, so now I'm going to grab my white yarn, and again be sure to take the long end and not the short tail, and I'm just going to bring that up, and also here give that yarn there enough room to bring it up. And that's the end of the row. Turn for row 8. Row 8. Now row 8 and 9 is actually going to be the start of a repeat that you're going to be doing until the shoulder is wide enough, because in essence it's always going to be the same thing that you're going to be repeating. So row 8, so I'm now working with the white yarn. That means I'm going to leave the pink yarn here to the side. Chain 1. Then here in the first stitch work 2 single crochets, and the increase is always at the same place where you've also changed colors, so that's easy to remember. So it's never here on this edge, it's always here on the edge where you're carrying your yarn. That's where the 2 single crochets are, the increase. Then chain 1, skip the single and come to the space, work a single crochet. You're going to do that until you're to the end. So chain 1, single crochet in the space, chain 1, single crochet in the next space, until you have 2 stitches left at the end, and there's going to be more and more stitches every time. And chain 1, skip this next stitch, and in the last stitch work 1 single crochet. There you go. Now turn for row 9. Row 9 is again that chain 1 to turn. In the first stitch work 1 single crochet, and in this space work a single. Then chain 1 to skip the single crochet and come to the next space and work a single in there. Chain 1, come to the next space and continue until you're to the end. Chain 1, single crochet. You have 2 stitches left here. I'm going to do a chain 1, skip the next stitch and come to the last stitch and work 2 singles. That's 1, and in the same stitch I should say work 2. And now we're going to change colors. So I've got the first half of the stitch. Let me just grab the pink yarn, and then I'm going to bring that up. Again, if you look here to the back, you see these stripes. And that's it. So this was row 9. So what you're going to do now is you're going to be repeating rows 8 and 9, and that every time you'll have an increase here on the edge, and you'll change colors after every repeat. And then this edge is going to become longer and longer, and you're going to continue until this edge here is 20 centimeters wide. So if you want to work it again, then it's chain 1. In the first stitch, that's 2 singles, and then chain 1, and then there's a single crochet in every chain space and a chain in between. And every time you work a repeat, you'll have 1 more chain space added, and that way you're going to build the pattern. So now we're going to come back, and if you look at your stitches, you'll see the rhythm, and at a certain point you won't even need the pattern anymore. You can see how I'm just following the rhythm. I'm maybe going a little faster, but then you'll see is how the rhythm goes. So in essence I work a single crochet in a chain, and that's the rhythm until you're to the end, and only at the edges are things a little different. Chain one, and here in the last stitch, always make sure to get both loops of that last stitch because they are sometimes a little tricky. One single and then two, and also change colors. So I'm going to grab the white yarn and bring that up, and then here on the back, here you see the stripes as I'm bringing this up. So this was again another repeat. So continue this until this edge here is 20 centimeters wide. Then you'll have a stitch count of 30 chain one spaces, and that's when I'll just see you back for section 2. Now at the start of section B, I've worked my shawl. This is not completely 20 centimeters, it's just a little sample scarf that I'm making, but yours here, this length should be 20 centimeters. And now we're going to continue, just keeping the width constant and just making the shawl longer. So I've got color B on my hook right now. So again, like I said here, I've taken the color along with each increase. But now we're going to keep things constant, and it's just 2 rows that you're going to be keeping on repeating. So row 1, so chain 1, then in the first stitch only 1 single crochet. So this is different from what you've done up till now. Only 1 single here, chain 1, skipping the next stitch, come to the chain space and work a single crochet. And you're going to repeat that chain 1 single crochet in the chain space till you're to the other side. And the nice thing about this scarf is that it's just really nice rhythm that you can get into. And because of the alternating single crochets and the chains, you get this really nice little like zigzaggy pattern here. So almost to the end. So a single crochet in every chain space, chain ones in between. Here at the end I've got 2 stitches left, and then chain 1, skipping the stitch, come to the last stitch and work a single crochet in that last stitch. So that was the first row. Now I'm going to turn and come back. So row 2 of this section, chain 1. In the first stitch a single crochet, and here's the first chain space, so that goes a single in there, then chain 1 and a single in the next chain space, and again chain 1 and continue until you're at the other side. And now it's always going to be the same, so you're not going to be working longer and longer edges, but your edges are going to remain constant. And I'm almost at the other side. Just a few more to go. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and I've got a chain, I've got a single chain single, so I'm going to work a single crochet in that chain space, and then here on the last single crochet I'm going to work a single and change colors. So I'm going to work a single there, and now I'm going to change colors, so I'm going to bring up the second color. There we go. It's going to bring that up, and now you're going to see again the stripe, and you're going to have that stripe going to continue along the edge of the scarf. And that was it. That was the end of row 2. So what you're going to do now is with the next color repeat rows 1 and 2. So you're going to do a row 1, 2, repeat, then change colors, then work it again change colors. And you're going to continue doing that until your yarn is almost finished. You're going to continue until you have, give or take, 20 grams of yarn left, because that's how much yarn the increase part used, and you're going to need the same amount of yarn to work the decrease. So continue until your scarf is long enough, and then it's going to be, give or take, 180 centimeters, and then we'll work the decrease part. After you've completed section B, your scarf is going to be very long. Now, I've only done a few rows of section B, so this part here, but yours is of course going to be much longer. And also here along the edge you'll see the yarn that you're taking with you. Now for section C, we're going to be reducing the length of each of our edges, and it's again 2 rows that we're going to be repeating. So row 1 starts again with a chain 1, and then I'll just zoom in a little bit more that you can just see the beginning. On the first 2 stitches we're going to work a single crochet 2 together. This stitch and the next stitch work a single 2 together. Then in the chain space work a single. Then chain 1, and now you're going to continue, well, just like you've done before, until the end. But you've reduced the stitch count by 1 stitch by working that single 2 together. So again, a single crochet in every chain space, chain 1, and continue until you're to the end. Now I'm almost at the end. And single crochet here, 2 stitches left, chain 1, and a single in the last stitch. There we go. So that was row 1, and now we're going to turn and come back for row 2 of this section. So row 2 starts in the same way as we've done before. We start with a chain 1, then a single crochet in the first stitch, a single crochet in the chain space, chain 1, and a single crochet in the next chain space, and continue until you're almost to the end. Then you'll have 2 stitches left, and then we work a decrease again, and we change colors. So everything's happening on the same edge always. So almost to the end. So I'm working the last single crochet here in this chain space. I've got 2 stitches left, and on those 2 I'm going to work a single 2 together. So in the first stitch pick up a loop, in the next stitch pick up a loop. But now we're going to change colors, so I'm just going to grab the white yarn and then complete that single 2 together. And again here, really give that white yarn enough room to bridge that gap. And that was the end of row 2. So that was the first repeat, and I'm going to continue repeating rows 1 and 2 of this section until you basically have 2 stitches left, until you have a single crochet 2 together and a single crochet left. So these last 2 stitches you have here. So continue until you have that. So I'll just show you the beginning of the next row. So that means here again on the first 2 stitches work a single 2 together. Then in the chain space a single crochet, and then continue in pattern. And this way you're going to be reducing every row with a stitch, and again you'll also be carrying your yarn up until you've reached a point. So continue like that until you're to the end of your scarf. And this is my finished scarf, well, almost finished. What you'll still have to do is you'll have 4 yarn tails, 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end of the scarf, that you'll just have to work away. And if you want to, you can block your scarf, because you'll notice that your edges, they curl just a little bit, and if you block it, that will just nicely flatten out. So this little wobble, you can get rid of that. So work away your last 4 yarn tails, and then you're all done.